We experimented with hypnosis and mass scale through your televisions. Wait, how? I can't tell you that. Most of the records have been destroyed deliberately by Richard Helms. Remember back in the 90s, they would have a full color scheme on the TV and say, this is only a test, and we'd hear, ee! Was that one of them? About those weird frequency hearing tests in the 90s they would give us. They don't do that anymore. What about the blue light from our phones and devices? Like, I heard that does something to our mind. What can you tell us? Through different light patterns and radio waves and frequencies that you can or cannot hear, we can definitely control what you think about certain events. We can also make a bunch of people think that they have a symptom of an illness, and so they all think they have it, but then it goes away pretty quickly after that, and then you just have a distant memory of that weird time that you were all sick. What was this experiment called? If I say the project name, the video will be taken down again. So I can't. Let me try it out. Is that project called MK? Yeah. But they stopped doing it, right? The document that was released this year said that they still use it in political campaigns to control what you think about candidates. Yeah, and they use mass media to do it. Here's the case number of the declassified document. If I say it, then the video will be taken down again. It sounds like someone doesn't want you to tell people this. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? You probably shouldn't talk about mind control anymore. I guess not. We're pretty sure reincarnation is real. Wait, why do you think that? What we found is consciousness is energy, and it exists outside of our understanding of reality, and energy never dies. So if what is within us is energy, are you saying that it can be transferred to another body because it never dies? That's correct. Okay, but what are you basing this off of? Used research that was already done by highly regarded psychologists in this field that point to there being a source that we're all trying to get back to eventually. So every time we reincarnate, we're supposed to learn something more or something until we gain enough luck to get back to the source. It is quite possible. Okay, I just double checked the documents, but it's all run-on sentences. You can barely read any of it. Yeah, we do that on purpose. Well, I haven't heard of any scientists talking about this recently, so now the field of parapsychology is deemed to be unworthy of further research by modern day scientists, but we haven't stopped. We've just started to ask questions to children in a controlled environment. Why the kids? It seems they're the ones that most easily remember their past lives between the ages of 1 and 5. What are these experiments called? Well, if I make a video about that again, it will be taken down once more. Basically, all you can tell us is that based on these experiments with these kids and all of the psychological and scientific research that was done in previous years, that you're pretty sure reincarnation is a legit thing. Yep. We can travel to any point in history to see what really happened. How? It's through astral projection, where your spirit leaves your body. So there are people out there sensitive enough to travel to history. Anyone can do it, actually. We have a 29-page document explaining how. Okay, how? We start out with headphones, where one ear has one frequency and the other ear has a different frequency. Okay, using frequencies. Human body naturally has a frequency, but this disrupts it a little bit. Okay. When the blood is ejected from the left ventricle, it goes into the aorta. Okay. The pressure goes down into your abdomen and then leaps back up. And the two pressures themselves create this space where you can actually eject from your body. You're gonna have to be more descriptive than that because that doesn't make any sense. It's a 20-page document, but here's the diagram of how it works. So like I could learn how to do this. If you follow the guide, then yes, it's not an extra ability you have or anything. It's just normal human ability. Okay, I get astral projecting to like another place that is currently on Earth, but how do you astral project to history? Time is not linear. If you can travel to any point in history, then you can know what the winning lotto numbers are. And you can manipulate the past. Would I show up in history like a human being, like a solid mass of a human being? Most of the time, no. They just show up in spirit form, so people don't really see them sometimes. So at any point, someone from the future could be astral projecting to my room, and I would not see them. We live in a hologram. None of this is real.
I've heard that before, but how is that possible? It seems pretty real to me.
We've been programmed with 5 senses in this reality to see, hear, touch, taste, and smell. But obviously there's so much more than that.
But this pen is physical matter. Like, I can hit myself with it and it hurts.
Physical matter doesn't exist. Every single thing is actually just a collection of molecules, and through quantum mechanics we've proven that if you touch an object, your molecules go into that object, and the object's molecules will go into you.
Okay, but how do you know that we're in a hologram? Like, what have you actually proven? I don't get it.
All matter is an oscillating energy grid over oscillating energy grid, and it's moving at a very rapid rate, thus creating a hologram.
So we've just been programmed with the 5 senses to understand this reality, but we can have more senses than that in this reality as well.
We discussed this in my last video, but this is the end of that 29-page document. That's about our hologram reality.
Okay, I just looked at the document, and page 25 is missing. Why?
Yeah, Vice magazine called us out for that a while back, so we had to post it, but it wasn't the real page, because that page was talking about how to meet God, and we don't want you to know that.
I'm sorry, did you say God? What's God?
Well, God is the source of all of this.
So God created this hologram, and we're here, but if this is a hologram, that also means we're somewhere else.
Yes. Yeah, you have a higher self. It's bigger than this reality, so that's fun.
Okay, so this is a hologram, and then my higher self is like my real self, like the real reality?
Well, there are many holograms. That's the fun part. So what you're going through right now, since we're all connected, is connected to the other holograms. So yourself is actually going through similar things in those holograms as well.
Okay, so there are many holograms, and they're all living lives, okay? But then there's one reality that is actually the real one, but we're not in it right now.
Yeah. We hired witches and warlocks to guide us to demons that we could use for warfare.
Did you just say demons?
It was an offshoot of MK Ultra, where we would manipulate people's minds and control them, and thus control the reality around everyone. But this was dealing with different dimensions, and we needed spiritual guides for that.
Didn't you use regular spirit guides? Like, you really had to get the darkest witches and warlocks in the world to help you?
Right? We don't want a regular spirit. We need the most powerful ones for war. And that requires someone who knows how to find them.
No human, no matter how darkly cultivated they are, understands demons. How could you just open up something so horrible that you know nothing about? You know the devastation that could cause?
There are no rules in war if you want to win. Wouldn't you use everything at your disposal to succeed in a war?
You guys always call us crazy when we accuse you of doing things like this, and then it turns out to be true. Like CERN. What are you guys doing with that? You're strumming up the most energy that's ever existed in the 3rd dimension, and it's completely human-made. And people that work there are saying there's beings that are coming through, and you're like, no, these people are lying. You're just trying to find the God particle. Like, what are you guys actually doing?
Right in front of your faces.
Okay, so these demons, did they ever come through? Did they ever help you? Are you working with them now? Like, what's going on?
All I can say is that in 1975 to 1977, a lot of these files were revealed. But not all of them. The Ark of the Covenant is real.
You mean the 10 Commandments that God gave directly to human beings? No one even knows where that is.
In one of our many remote viewing sessions with remote viewer number 32, they were able to locate it, but it was heavily cloaked by energy, so we couldn't get the exact location. However, it was described exactly as the Ark of the Covenant is.
There's a lot to unpack. What is the description?
Well, first of all, it's in a very wet area that is buried on purpose, protected by entities, and the box is used energetically for, quote, ceremony, memory, homage, the resurrection, spirituality, and contains knowledge beyond what we currently have now.
And you said it's protected by entities?
Well, yes, of course, until it's time. And when it is time, the mechanisms to unlock it will just easily show themselves, and it will be unlocked. Until then, if anyone tries to unlock this, the entities will destroy them.
Did this remote viewer sketch out what this looked like? Do you have it?
Well, it's kind of ornate, kind of basic, and the entities look pretty basic as well, but again, a remote viewer is not an artist.
Do you think it'll be unlocked soon?
Maybe.